Morning. I'd like to welcome everyone to our annual Parents' Day service. Today is Mother's Day, but because our Dharma School program ends before Father's Day in June, we always celebrate moms and dads together with this special Parents' Day service. So to all of our parents here today, happy Parents' Day. The relationships we have with our moms and our dads are, I feel, among the most significant and meaningful relationships we will ever have. They are the two people who from the moment we were born, they have loved us more than life itself. They are our first, and I feel our greatest teachers in life. It is from our parents that we learn our earliest and our deepest life lessons. And from the moment we're able to understand, I think they are instilling within us our core values. And whether we realize it or not, throughout our lives, they continue to teach us how to live through the most difficult of times and the most unacceptable losses we can possibly know. From our earliest years, we watch our parents, and often with words unspoken, we learn deep life lessons that will guide us through the twists and turns that we will inevitably encounter on our journey through life. And their love is so deep that they always wish they could have done more. I remember my mom saying to me when I was in my 40s, she said that I wasn't able to help you very much when you were growing up. I wish I could have done more, but because being from Japan, my English was not good, I wasn't able to help very much. And I remember saying to my mother, you have always loved and believed in us, and whatever happened, you and Dad were always trying your best. We were never hungry, and we always had a home to return to, and I couldn't have asked for a better mom and dad. And I think there are moments when every mom and dad, when they reflect on their journey in parenting to their children, they felt, I wish I could have done more. I feel that too is a feeling that lives in the heart of every loving mom and dad. My sister Janie and her husband Jimmy have 3 wonderful children, and as the years pass, I continue to look back and enjoy the memories of being their uncle. And thinking of Mother's Day and our Parents' Day service, the story of my sister came to mind, and I've shared this in adult sessions, but never really with our Dharma school, so I'd like to share this story today. Janie is my older sister by 3 years. I grew up with an older brother and a younger brother. My sister Janie is closest in years to me, and we are close. We call and we check in with each other. And often, for some reason, Janie's calls would come past midnight, And I've asked her not to call too late because I would always awaken with a jolt thinking that it's an emergency. Well, one early morning, years ago, I received a call, and I immediately awakened thinking it was an emergency. It was already past midnight. And when I heard my sister's voice, I was almost going to scold her and say, don't call so late. But her voice sounded so pensive, so thoughtful, even sad. So I asked her, Janie, what's wrong? And here's the backstory on our conversation. Her middle child and second daughter, Cheryl Lynn, was a junior at UC Berkeley. And for some reason, from the time Cheryl was very young, she had always wanted to go to France. When she was 6 years old, when her family announced that they were going to be going to Disneyland for vacation, at 6 she said, well, why can't I ever choose where we go for vacation? So they asked her, well, Cheryl, where do you want to go? And she said, France. They said, we're going to Disneyland. In high school and college, she took French as her foreign language, and when she was at Berkeley, she learned that there was a junior year abroad program where you could study at the University of Paris. And of course, she wanted to apply. Her parents looked into it and they approved, and the program was run through UCLA, and so Cheryl applied and was accepted. And Janie and Jimmy were very excited for her. They even arranged a trip for the whole family to go to Europe that summer. They would meet her and they would travel through Europe together. But when my sister made that early morning phone call to me, Cheryl's date of departure was nearing, and it was down to just days away. And this was the first time Janie was going to have a child so far away. Her oldest child, Janine, she went to UC Berkeley and then to UOP Pharmacy School. The youngest, Jeffrey, was still in high school. And her middle child, Cheryl, well, she was no longer going to be 6 miles away, the distance from El Cerrito to Berkeley. I knew that morning while we were talking that I would never forget that conversation. And almost word for word, it went like this. And I asked her, Janie, what's wrong? And then after a long pause, very thoughtfully, she said, I think I finally figured out what it is to be a mom. And so I asked her, what's that? And she said, being a mom is having to learn to let go. You carry your baby for 9 months, then the time comes when the umbilical cord is cut and you have to let her go. They start to grow and toddle along, holding your finger. In no time at all, they're running off and you have to let them go. The day comes when the training wheels come off of the bike and you're running alongside and she's shouting, Mommy, don't let go, Mommy, don't let go. And you say, I won't. And then you have to let her go. They get their driver's license, they go off to college. And my sister then said, now my baby's going to France and I have to let her go. I listened to my sister share this with me that early morning. Then I said to her, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. But that's not just being a mom. In Buddhism, we are taught that this is what it means to be a human being in living life. All of us, we are always having to learn to let go. Life is constant change, and nothing can stay the same. And in living life, we are naturally and constantly adjusting to changes great and small. When Patty and I came here 32 years ago, I was 50 pounds lighter. I had lots of hair that I had to let go of. And over those years, I've had to let go of my 30-inch waist, my 20/20 vision, and my gravity-defying 10-inch leap. My hair disappeared with my youth, and we've had to let go of so many wonderful friends and family as the decades passed. But this is life. For years now, in teaching my Metta Padma classes, I've explained the teaching of middle path, using this analogy of holding on and letting go. For the middle path is not static. It is dynamic and constantly in motion. The middle path is nothing less than life itself. Life is holding on and letting go. We inhale and take a breath of life-giving air. We hold on, but we have to let it go. This is the Buddhist teaching of non-attachment. Non-attachment is not detachment. Detachment is not being connected at all. Detachment has no life. Non-attachment is the middle path between attachment and detachment. It is life. It is living. And in living life, we're always holding on and letting go, loving deeply and letting go, caring deeply and letting go. And even if we don't want to let go, life will make us. And if we refuse to let go, or for that matter, if we refuse to hold on, we will become dysfunctional. Living life is the process of constantly holding on and letting go, caring deeply and letting go, loving deeply and letting go. At the end of this month of May, Reverend Patty and I will be letting go of these Dharma school services that we've been a part of since 1984. And this is just a part, we know, of the ebb and flow of life, of caring deeply and letting go. But like a mother's love and a father's love, always deep, deep in our hearts, we will never be letting go and always be caring deeply. To Reverend Patty and I, this Dharma school has been like our child, and when we know we will always care deeply. So in celebrating our moms and dads with this Parents' Day service today, know that however old we may become, the bonds of love between parent and child will remain, for they are the bonds of life itself. Make sure you give your mom and dad a warm and loving hug today and every day. And for those of us who have lost our moms and dads, let us hold them close to our hearts, for this is still their special day. I'd like to again wish all of our moms and dads here a happy Parents' Day, and I'd like to thank you all for joining us this special Parents' Day service. In closing, please join me in Gassho. As my sister Janie once shared with me, being a mom and being a dad is having to learn to let go. The children grow up and go off into the world, and we have to let them go. But this is not just being a mom or dad. In Buddhism, we are taught this is what it means to be a human being in living life. We're always having to let go, breathing deeply and letting go, caring deeply and letting go, loving deeply and letting go. But deep, deep, deep in our hearts, we will never truly let go of our mother or father, or they letting go of us. For deep in their hearts, they will always be holding on and caring for us. Such is the nature of life and of love. So today, make sure you give your mom and dad a warm and loving hug. And for those of us who have lost our moms and dads, let us hold them close to our hearts, for this is still their special day. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu.